Can you tell me what's the difference and how you all do both at Pop and J, or do you do one of them? How does it work?
So when we started, we specifically were in decor, and that's always been my forte. That's what we focused on always, and even now, our focus is always decor, and also some of the technical aspects of it, which is lighting, furniture rentals, all of that. So yes, this is all part of decor and setup.
I'm sure that you work with a lot of high profile clients, and I'm sure they have a lot of expectations, and sometimes you face challenges in either conveying them or getting on the same page. How do you navigate yourself through that?
So key is to make the client feel heard. Especially when you're working with some of these celebrities, or if it's a celebrity, for example, there's a lot of security and privacy concerns. So the idea is to first sit with them, hear them out, and engage them in a way where they feel heard so that they start becoming comfortable with you.
Can you tell us about any other event that comes to your mind when you would say that this was like one of our best pieces of work?
From the last few that we did, one that comes to mind, not only because the client was special, um, this was a celebrity couple, cricket Bollywood. So special clients for us.
I have heard that you recently done an offshoot of Popinjay into Kritika Purohit weddings, right? So where now you all are working specifically for weddings as well.
And every company dreams to grow. Everybody grows. There is a point of saturation, and then the question comes, what's next? And for me, weddings just seem like the next most natural course, to move into.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Marketing Crew podcast. Today we have with us Kritika, who's the founder of Popinjay Events and Kritika Purohit Weddings. And today we are going to know about her journey, about how she started this business and the marketing challenges she faces, as well as working with Marketing Crew, and how she progressed from creating a company that was once a startup to building a company which is today doing events all over India. So, Kritika, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Can you tell us a little about yourself and your journey and how things started for you?
Yeah, so I actually came from a commerce and business background. Yeah. And after dabbling in management, working in finance sector, banking, I decided it's not for me. I took a leap into the creative side because that's what I always enjoyed. So I worked with a leading company in Delhi, which did luxury wedding invites. That's how I got introduced to the world of decor, events. That was my first introduction. After working 5 years with them, I decided it was time to be my own boss. And that's how I took the leap of faith and started Pop and J Events back in 2017.
Okay, so 2017 you started. What kinds of events did you start with, and how did you progress towards doing events which are so big today in Mumbai and all over India? But I'm sure you started with like a small selection or small type of events, and then you progressed towards. So what was it that spurred that?
Yeah, it was a very gradual and slow journey, very organically we grew. So, yes, when I started, like you said, we did start small because back in 2017, when I was thinking of decor and parties, what I had noticed is there was a gap in the market in terms of people who are either doing wedding decor, so it was obviously bigger scale, or nothing. And there was this whole market emerging for people doing smaller gatherings already. There were caterers who were catering to smaller parties. It's starting with 20 people, 50 people. And because of Pinterest and Instagram and all these platforms coming in around then, people had already got introduced to the idea of, decor, doing, even if you're having a smaller gathering, there was an interest of doing it nicely, doing it in a certain way. So I wanted to cater to that gap. And that was the reason we started Pop and J as a small boutique decor enterprise. From there we moved up, slowly, word of mouth, recommendations, referrals. I mean, that's how we, and little bit of Instagram and Facebook back then. We were fortunate enough to get good referrals, and slowly, the scale of events also started going up. But yes, we cater to all kinds of occasions: baby showers, birthdays, milestone birthdays, corporates, a housewarming, like you name it. And, we were happy to put up a nice setup for the occasion.
And that's amazing to hear because you're so right about the fact that there are so many companies which are making events and doing decor, etc., for such large scale events, but there is nobody catering to somebody. Okay, I want to have a 30 people baby shower. Okay, but I want to make it nice and charming and cute, and there is nobody who is there in them for catering to that specific audience.
Exactly.
So you saw a gap in the market and you decided to take full advantage of it. That's great. I hear you keep mentioning wedding decor and event decor and event planning separately. Can you tell me what's the difference and how you all do both at Pop and J, or do you do one of them? How does it work?
So when we started, we specifically were in decor, and that's always been my forte. That's all what we focused on always, and even now, our focus is always decor. But what happens? Even decor is a large umbrella. Under that, we look after softer elements. Whether it's florals, balloons, all of that, and also some of the technical aspects of it, which is lighting, furniture rentals, all of that. So, yes, this is all part of decor and setup. And when you say event planning, that entails a lot more, because a planner can help you not just set up your space in terms of decor and aesthetic and how it's going to look, but a planner will also probably help you get a caterer on board. The planner will help you get a photographer on board, look after the entertainment. So it's basically every aspect of the party. Now, we don't focus that much on planning all the other elements of an event. But having said that, it's kind of, we take it event to event. So if there are clients who push us and expect us to help them kind of coordinate the whole thing for them, and if it's within our means of doing it, we've done it. Understood. We've done it. And because we've been now in the industry for so long, of course, we have our own network of people we keep working with, photographers, caterers, etc. So we're happy to connect our clients to those appropriate, vendors and teams. And sometimes we take that step forward and coordinate the entire thing for them. So yes, it's two different things. It's not exactly the same thing, but yes, event to event, we decide.
Depending on the client.
Exactly.
Understood. Okay. And in terms of your process, okay, say I were a person who wanted to plan his Mehndi, okay, or say I wanted to plan my birthday or anniversary. It's a very small event, it's just 30-40 people. I'm probably doing it at my own place. How does the process work? How do you go about deciding what kind of decor we need? What's the budget? How are the spaces going to be created? So what's the process exactly like?
So, I mean, first things first, budget is important, because ultimately this is also a business, and, work has to be profitable, and it also has to be feasible for the client. So there is, yes, we do have, say, minimum billing policies in place and things like that, just to make it easier for the client and for us. So once all of that is out of the way, then we get into a more detailed discussion with the client. Usually, we try and meet the client. If required, if it's a bigger venue or complicated venue, then we try and do the meeting in the venue itself, so that we can together go through the space with the client and see where their heads at in terms of what they are feeling. So we want to first get a feel from them, because everybody has a vision, when they come for, like, if you, like you said, if you want to celebrate something, you've already thought of something. That's why you've come to someone like me, right? So we first want to get engaged with you and understand where you're at. That's one. After that, we kind of get into mild designing. So like maybe we share references with you from our past work, or even other references. Sometimes clients come ready even with that homework to us, where they're like, okay, listen, I like this. So then we guide them through a little bit more details. We try and focus on the elements, the broader elements. Okay, what do you need? You want to do a backdrop, you'll need a stage if you have some kind of entertainment or artist. So we kind of narrow it on all the elements. And after that, we put together a plan for them. We give them a budget. And once all of that is approved, we take it forward.
I'm sure that you work with a lot of high profile clients, and I'm sure they have a lot of expectations, and sometimes you face challenges in either conveying them or getting on the same page. How do you navigate yourself through that?
Yes, we've had all kinds of clients. We work with, personal clients, celebrities, corporates, brands. So we've kind of done it all in that sense. Yes, there are challenges, but the process that I just spoke about is more or less similar when it comes to every event or client. So key is to make the client feel heard. Especially when you're working with some of these celebrities or HNI kind of clients or big brands and things like that. It's very important to hear them because they have something. If it's a brand, for example, then there are protocols attached to an image of that brand. Expectations are different. If it's a celebrity, for example, there's a lot of security and privacy concerns. So the idea is to first sit with them, hear them out, and engage them in a way where they feel heard so that they start becoming comfortable with you. Once they become comfortable, that's when they start giving away their trust. And so you want to make them feel heard, you want to take their suggestions, ideas on board, and then build from there, basically.
Understood. Understood. That's a good way of managing that. And I'm sure as challenging as it is, and it will be just as rewarding to work with people most people don't have a chance to meet or work with. Um, Tell me about, so at Marketing Crew, we've had a number of opportunities to work with you, travel with you, shooting your content, being in high profile houses, getting to shoot the event decor. Um, Specifically, when you work with places like Soho, Club Jolies. Okay. Can you tell us how does that work out for you? Are they clients who you work for like on a yearly basis, or is it something which is per event? And how do you manage to work with clients like that while doing your, events which are one-time events?
Yes. So as you mentioned, places like these, they are recurring, events for us. So they're one of our longer term clients. Because these places cater to people. There's a big requirement of the kind of events that they need to keep churning out. They have to be of a certain standard as well. So we over the years, I mean, it all starts with that first event, right? And once you've gained that trust, the client will call you back. And that's how we built on it. It's taken years. We built on that trust between us and them. And so they keep having us back on board. And the idea, again, even with them, because it's a certain image that they need to maintain. They're catering to their own clientele. So we have to factor in all these. We have to be very respectful of their rules and regulations and what they expect to portray as a brand. So yes, when we're working with them, we keep all of these things in mind. And over time, the comfort we have, we understand their aesthetic. They understand our sensibilities and what we bring to the table. So there is a mutual trust as well. And like I said, as long as we can follow, abide by what they expect us to and are in sync with their image and branding, they're very happy to keep getting us back on board. So they're always priority for us. But of course, we have our one-off events in the middle. It's not about choosing, it's just about balancing.
Understood.
Yeah, this keeps coming back, but we have to cater to the clients who keep coming back in between all of this. So it's just a balancing act. We can't make one field important than the other.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I recall the Iptida event which we had shot last year, and it was beautiful. Can you tell us a little about it?
Yes. So we've done Iqtada is a curation from Delhi. They're a Delhi-based brand who curates these beautiful mehfils. It's all about reviving the old Indian culture and aesthetic when it comes to music and dance and culture. And they're doing a very good job in Delhi. And over the last year or two, they've also been doing some events in Bombay through through places like Jolie's. And it's been a beautiful experience because it's a very different kind of vibe that they try to create, a very old school, old world charm. So it's almost like immersing yourself into that world. Bethak, sit down, which you used to do years ago, right? So they're really trying to create that metal vibe in every event, and they bring something special. Now, once we understood what they're trying to do, it was an absolute joy and pleasure to, be their decor partner and help them create that vibe in every event in Bombay. And it's been a long-term relationship. We continue to work with them for every event in Bombay.
Amazing. Um, as far as working in Bombay goes, I know you do a lot of events every year. I think last year we traveled with you to Hyderabad for a birthday, but it was not a regular birthday. Can you tell us something?
No, it wasn't. It was a very special birthday. So it was a first birthday and something I'd never done before because the scale at which it was done in a convention center. And there was a team that traveled from Bombay to curate, design, and execute this entire event. So it was extremely exhausting, but extremely rewarding. I mean, it was a venue we had never worked in before, um, 30,000 square feet to play around with. So it was creatively, it was extremely exciting because the theme was exciting, the kind of elements we could do were exciting, the scale was exciting. And we just got to do a lot of unique things, because simply because of the kind of space we had to play with. So we created this wonderland, and everything was like a larger than life experience, creating it and executing it, and in every sense it was very fulfilling.
Amazing. And can you tell us about any other event that comes to your mind when you would say that this was like one of our best pieces of work? Something like we can, um, you would this is the first thing you would show when you show your portfolio or your work. Like, what are these events? Like any such event that comes to your mind?
That's a very tough question because, of course, every event for us, every setup is equally special. Like I said, because I've got to work with so many different clients, brands, corporates. It's like every experience has been different, different from the previous one, and also it's constantly pushed me, creatively and work wise. Like always pushed my boundaries. But I'd say from the recent last few that we did, one that comes to mind, not only because the client was special. um this was a celebrity couple, cricket, Bollywood,
Us.
so special clients for us. But we did a Ganpati celebration, so intimate setting, but believe it or not, lot of work because the kind of detailing that we had to go into. You had asked me previously about decor and planning, and this was one of those events that required us to not only look at decor aspects for the function, but also end to end planning. So we were involved. That's why it was exciting because we got to, of course, create a beautiful setup. And it was a beautiful occasion, Ganesh Chaturthi. But also it was a 3 day, back to back event, 3 days. And we were involved in every aspect from the decor planning to the food planning with the caterer, in terms of not just how the food will be displayed and how it'll look, but also menu selection, like themes for every day. We were also involved in the giveaways, for for the guests who were coming, and how those hampers would be decorated. So every detail, we were involved in every aspect, end to end. For those 3 days, it felt like I barely slept. But it was worth it. It was an extremely memorable event for a lot of reasons.
I can imagine why.
Yeah.
And talking of not being doing an event where you can't sleep, I have heard that you recently done an offshoot of Popinjay into Kritika Purohit weddings, right? So where now you all are working specifically for weddings as well. So how did that come about? Why did you choose to do that, and why was it? Why did you think that it required another brand for you to run this?
So I had a lot of reasons for that. One is that weddings, it's when I've been doing, like I said, Popinjay for 7 years now, and weddings was something that felt like a natural extension of what we're already offering. And every company dreams to grow. Everybody grows. There is a point of saturation, and then the question comes, what's next? And for me, weddings just seem like the next most natural course, to move into. So that's how weddings. And of course, weddings excites me because it's a bigger canvas in terms of creativity to play with, right? Um, when we do these events, we're just turning out. You're working on one event and you're done. With a wedding, it's like a much bigger canvas, 3 to 4 functions. You know how our Indian weddings are. So you're talking about 2 to 3 functions minimum in every wedding, which means that much more creative work. It just excites me that much more. And the reason I decided to launch that under, a separate branding, I mean, under my own name instead of Popinjay, is because over the years we've been fortunate enough with Popinjay events to establish a name. So when people come to us, they're also expecting, okay, you do birthdays, you do celebrations, milestone celebrations, corporates, things like that. So for a wedding client, we just wanted that clarity. We don't want people to come on our page and feel like, oh, this is not wedding decor, this is personal events, or this is something else. So we wanted to have that distinction very clearly. And somebody who's looking for wedding decor or anything related to weddings, you know how much work it is for the couple, for the family. They don't want to waste time. So you don't want to discourage them coming onto one page and being confused and leaving, right? So you rather have them come straight onto your page where they can just see wedding work, and they can take a call whether they want to approach you or not.
Yeah, yeah, I completely understand why you would do that now, and certainly for a client who's looking just specific for weddings, they're wanting somebody who's a specialist as that.
Exactly.
Amazing. I remember that. So when it comes to Popinjay, you manage to do event decor and planning, but when it comes to wedding, do you follow the same suit, or do you focus specifically on wedding decor?
So when it comes to weddings, yeah, we want to right now specifically focus on the decor part because that's our forte. And since it's it's been again a gradual move into this space, we don't want to rush things and unnecessarily jump into different aspects, because when it comes to wedding planning, that's again a whole other ball game. There are many aspects. So I feel like I want to focus on my forte, which is decor.
Understood. And I remember in December we shot the wedding at Taj for you, and I think it was fabulous. Like when we got to see the pictures, making the reels, it was one of those dream weddings that people probably see in movies. Can you tell us a little about this event? Because I remember it being really extensive and having a lot of different events within it.
Yes, so that was definitely a very exciting time for us also, getting to do that wedding. There were multiple functions, small and big, and we looked after the decor end to end, um, from the client's home pujas to like every function that they had in different venues. It was very exciting because we got to work in different venues. We also got to work with different teams. We got to work on different themes because every setting, when you're working in different venues, the setting is different. So it requires a different kind of setup each time. Also, that's the thing with weddings, right? It's exciting because uh, it's one client and back to back events, so you have to make sure that every look is different, every look is fresh. Nothing looks like it's repeated. Oh, we just saw this last night. You want to create those moments for the clients and their guests, right? So it was very, very exciting. And I think one of our favorite moments, I would say, in the wedding was being able to capture that the essence of the gateway, right? I mean, it's an iconic landmark in our city, and it's special when somebody's getting to get married there with that as the backdrop. I mean, we already had a beautiful canvas to play with, so that was also special. The Mehndi was also very exciting theme because again, it was a very raw, very rustic, very interesting venue, very different from the usual hotel banquet venues. And we got to do a lot. We created a full market street vibe over there, lots of fun things. So the decor had to kind of blend into the vibe rather than the other way around. So it was definitely exciting.
You mentioned the Mehndi and how you created a street vibe for it. Can you tell us about the other, like the flow of the events and like what theme you did for that specific event, just in like a brief?
Yes. So our bride and groom were very clear that they just wanted people to have like a blast. Like this was one of the first main functions, and they just wanted people to come and have fun. So once you have that brief, half your job is done because you know that you want to create things that are going to be memorable and just fun for people to do. And I think it makes my job easier because I think of what would I love to do a wedding. So it's a good starting point, and then we build from there. So there were a lot of fun activities. There was a lot of great food. There were things for people to do, like get your caricature done, block printing. There was a coconut vendor. So just like fun things, where you're just chilling, you're enjoying the sundown vibe and enjoying the venue really actually. So that's how we created that whole street vibe.
Okay. And for the other events, what kind of themes did you play around with the other, like the haldi and all the other events that happened?
So again, a big factor was the venue and where we're doing it. So based on what surroundings we were working with, what the venue looked like, we kind of based our themes and looks on that. So of course, the haldi was a day event, and when you think of day, yellow is the first color that comes to mind. They wanted to keep it simple, but they wanted the guests to still enjoy the decor. So we kept it simple, whites, yellows, and just kind of blend into the venue, which had a lot of gold accents in it. So the haldi was another fun event to do. When it came to the wedding, like I mentioned, we already had the backdrop of Gateway, and we really wanted to highlight that. There was no reason to block that off, or so keeping that in mind, again, simplicity, whites, greens, just very, very charming, um almost like an English garden inspired theme. Soft green shades, soft colors, light wood, white. These are the kind of things we played with. Like that's the color palette. Everything was just meant to look pretty and delicate. And the wedding was happening sunset time. So again, we honestly, it's our job easier, just the location where we were. And after that, we did a beautiful sit down indoors. And again, we just wanted to make people feel like they were part of, something nice together. So the idea was just to create, pretty tables, make them feel like they're involved in something. So we had personalized nail tags, like the whole Western sit down concept, where family and friends were sitting together and enjoying like a long 3 to 4 course meal.
Amazing. It was one of those events where we really saw you like on the ground, 12 hours a day, just getting stuff done. I always tell my team, because sometimes we get so lost in behind our screens and our phones, as a social media, as a digital marketing agency, that we often forget that, how it is to get work done, and like that need for physical immediate interaction, as well as to just getting things done. And you're such an inspiration for us and our team here to understand that no matter at what stage you are, at what level you are, no matter of how big a team you have, at the end of the day, you need to be on the floor sometimes and get stuff done.
Absolutely. For me, there's no shying away from that. I mean, everything is on the floor. And yeah, like you said, yeah, very, very fortunate for the team and vendors we have. But there's no running away from the work that you need to do. And come hail, come storm, you have to have the venue ready, right? So there are times when if it means me picking up a broom and, getting things clear, then so be it. We've done it all.
I completely understand. And so, yeah, I think it's been beautiful listening to your journey, and it's been beautiful working with you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do for us.
Let's hope we get to do that and we get to shoot it for you. And thank you so much again for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
And
For everything.
we look forward to working with you for years.
Absolutely.